Okay, Washington and Oregon State are in very similar situations as we shift gears and move back to the football that will be on the field this week in the third week of conference play. So both of them are coming off of disappointing road performances in which they lost to top 15 teams. Both of them are also back on the road this week against inferior opponents. Washington is at Arizona State, where they're a 2-touchdown favorite, should be able to win comfortably. Oregon State is at Stanford. They're just a 7-point favorite. And I think that discrepancy in those two lines is indicative of one thing and one thing only. Oregon State's quarterback play for the last couple of weeks has been, let's put it politely and say shaky. And if I put it honestly, it's been abysmal. So I'm not worried about either team right now. I am not. My level of concern is higher for the Beavs than for the Huskies. But to both fan bases, if you're an Oregon State fan or Washington fan, you listen to or watch the show, thank you for doing that. But I've got a message for you. It is not time to worry. It is not time to panic. Kalen DeBoer is off to a great start. No, that was not a good game. But ask yourself this. If you're frustrated about how that game went, like, oh, we should have played better. Yes, they should have. Do you think Michael Penix, after how he looked in the first 4 weeks, and remember, he's not going to play on the road every week as the season goes on, do you think he's going to throw 2 interceptions again in another game? He may do it one other time, but that's probably going to be it. Oregon State has a higher level of concern because of the quarterback situation. But Washington, Michael Penix is still healthy. He had a bad game. Did you expect him or the team to have 12 perfect games here in the season? I know it looked that way after they played basically 4 perfect games to begin the year, but they're finally away from home. They're learning what that feels like. And when you're on the road, things are different. Things are tougher. It looks different. It feels different. You warm up differently because your schedule is not what it has been the previous month when Washington played their first 4 games at home. They were not going to go 12-0. The defense was not going to be lights out every week. And Chip Kelly and UCLA know how to score a lot of points. It's one of the best offenses in the Pac-12 for the last couple of seasons. Like, yes, the defense has areas to improve upon. But do you not think that this coaching staff can make adjustments? Do you not think they can make improvements, that they can get better? I don't think it's panic time at all for Washington. And notice, I'm not the only person who feels that way because they weren't dropped out of the top 25. They're still sitting at 4-1. They're 1-1 in conference play. They should be 2-1 after this week's game on the road in Tempe against the Sun Devils, who are just down in every which way. And you have a big chance this week because you can prove to yourselves that you know how to play well on the road. They haven't done that yet, but they've only had one try. And remember, this Washington team was 4-8 a year ago, and Kalen DeBoer, the rebuild is well underway. I mean, they've all but arrived as a team to contend with in the Pac-12. And yeah, they got a little bit of a wake-up call at UCLA, but UCLA is also a good team. We thought they would be coming into the year, and they're off to a good start. Wasn't a perfect start through the first 3 games, but UCLA played very well. They were at home, and if that game is in Seattle, it's probably a different story. So Washington's defense can make adjustments, can get better. I don't think Penix is going to throw 2 interceptions on consecutive drives. Pretty sure it was, or 2 and 3 possessions, whatever the case was there in that first half. I don't think that's going to happen again because I watched him shred 4 opponents in a row to begin the season. So one bad week, not time for concern. Oregon State, brutal schedule. That's if Beaver fans are upset that they had to play USC and then at Utah, you got every right to be. You got every right to be. That's a brutal scheduling break. If you'd played USC at home and then gotten to play Stanford before going at Utah, it might have been a different story. or if you'd gotten a Cal or an Arizona or a Colorado or someone who is not, I don't know, maybe the best team in the conference on the road the week after you were that close to pulling a top 10 upset at home in a game you should have won, where you were hyped going in, you expended a lot of emotional energy, it was a hard-fought game, you led for most of it, and then you lost. That's a crushing place to be as a football team. And then you have to go to what is probably the toughest place to win, the first or second hardest place to win in the conference, given the environment and the opponent, at Utah. That's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But Beaver fans have got to play the long game here. They've got to be patient and trust that this team, under a fifth-year head coach in Jonathan Smith, can get back to where they were through the first 3 weeks when they look like the team I thought they might be coming into the year. I am not selling my Beaver stock. They go on the road this week and lose to Stanford, no matter who's playing quarterback. Okay, then it'll be time for concern. But Washington and Oregon State, they're in the same spot. Top 15 road losses. It was disappointing, but it is not time to declare that the sky is falling or that the season is over or that neither can still achieve the goals that they had coming into this year. I appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time and have a wonderful rest of your day.